Alright, so we're here, the Raw Alternative, and supporting your local music, combined together to bring you these wonderful webisodes. And our first little guinea pigs of the webisodes.
Resinaut.
Go around and introduce yourselves.
Joe, Bob, my full name.
Matt,
Lucas,
CJ Hayden, drummer.
Oh yeah, I sing. He plays guitar. He plays bass.
So this is a new project, risen from the ashes of some old projects, Chapel's Larry and Full Moon Canoe namely. And you guys have come from, I know, Mississippi Gun Club.
Right.
And
I was in a band called Mountains of Mars, and I was in a band called Moon Station America. That was pretty much it.
Great, so how did you guys get together?
Well, Matt actually brought all of us together. I met Matt just from Chapel's had a few shows before Moon, and then
In Centrifuge.
yes, yeah, Soup Rain had shows with Centrifuge, but we don't remember it. We also played with his band 4130 back then, but don't remember it. But Chapel's Larry and Full Moon broke up at the same time.
Same day, I think.
Yeah, same day.
It's interesting, yeah.
And then he called me.
I had an ad up on the Facebook musicians search whatever, and which rarely works for anybody, but CJ responded within hours, and we exchanged a couple emails. We got together one time, called him up and Lucas and I jammed
Probably March or April, like earlier this year.
with another drummer, just pretty much all these same riffs. So
Right.
he came in with all of us knowing most of these riffs already, which helped a lot.
And then the four of us got together the first day, which was 2 months ago?
Something like that.
2 months ago.
Something
And we
like
actually wrote the second song, that Oh Captain. We put that song together, and it's been the same song ever since, aside from the solos, a couple solos. But it all really fell together real fast and real easy, and
7 songs in 2 months.
7 songs in 2 months, and,
That's impressive.
and they're all, you know, in my opinion, they're all high quality songs, just like Miller Lite beer and light beer. What is that? Light?
Miller Lite.
Oh, that's Miller Lite
Miller
too.
Lite.
We should be sponsored by Miller Lite. Miller Lite, if you're listening, these guys like beer.
But CJ and I are actually from the same general area, like a few miles from one another. And
PA,
like,
Ohio border.
yeah, and we'd always like almost played in bands together. Like I played with people that he's played with, he's played with people that I've played with, and I knew who he was. I've seen him play in like 2 or 3 different bands over the years, but it's only recently that I actually got to play him. I think it's only recently that we actually met. You know what I mean? Like I knew who he was.
This is weird because
Yeah.
we all know the same people.
The same
It's
people.
crazy.
Like we live in pretty much like the same town, so everyone knows everybody, and I'd actually never met
In
him.
his previous band, I used to play with a guitar player in 4130.
Right, right.
So,
And I played a few times with the guy
This is
who's in
small little
Mississippi
town.
Gun Club with, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's really cool how all this networking, I mean, you know, when Centrifuge and Soup Rain were going and 4130, you guys were all friends of one another, but was there ever any desire or, you know, inkling that you guys may jam together just for fun?
Never
So
back
like
then.
this?
It was,
No?
no. I was real young, and everything was drug and alcohol fueled. So,
I don't even remember how many
Now you're just
conversations.
old and it's still drug and
yeah,
alcohol.
yeah. Yeah, now I'm just old.
Nothing's changed except for the number of hairs in there.
That's it. And they're still there. But they, yeah, I don't ever remember. I remember playing with 4130 as a band, but I don't remember none of the guys in it. And same thing with Centrifuge. I know we played with Centrifuge. I never met Lucas before this,
No.
though. We know that for sure.
Yeah.
yeah, this is pretty much a Facebook project, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all
Craigslist,
musicians,
you know.
Facebook webpage. Matt posted it. That's how I met him, and he already met Lucas. So I mean, it's kind of the Facebook thing that brought us together.
And it was nice because me and Matt, being the Chapel's and Full Moon broke up at the same time. He was looking to do something a little heavier. I was looking to do something not quite as chaotic and heavy, and or not. I don't want to say heavy because this stuff's pretty heavy. It's hard to carry, but it fit well. We kind of met in the middle there, where we both, I think, wanted to be at. And then, of course, we have the great rhythm over here of these guys. And that guy plays a Rickenbacker. I don't know if you guys have seen it in the video or not, but
We got
it's
some
pretty
shots.
badass.
We got some
bass
shots
over
for
there.
sure.
Yeah. And then there's a cymbal right here that's 24 inches round. Who else does that besides CJ?
So shifting gears real quick, you mentioned that this project was heavily formed through networking and Facebook in particular, and I know, Joe, the stuff you've done with supporting your local music now, and he's running away.
I'm just getting my water. I'm thirsty.
For the last year, it's coming up on the 1-year anniversary of supporting your local music, and
Yep.
Matt, I know when Full Moon was up and running, they had, they've done several shows, and how do you guys feel that this, we often talk about this sort of networking of bands and this sort of one for one, or I'm sorry, one for all for one for all mentality with the Youngstown and Northeast Ohio scene really coming together. Do you feel like this project has directly benefited from that?
Yeah, I would think so. Probably because without that stuff and without the music pages, and we probably might not have found each other, or it might have been a little harder to find each other. You would have
I
had
think
to
it
go
gives
through
a lot of
couple-
people an opportunity to get out there and play. I mean,
Yeah, that too.
now we're a new band on the scene.
Yep.
Now we're gonna have shows. Now we have other bands that can network with us and get on there, make flyers,
Play shows.
beyond supporting the local
I'd like
music.
to play shows in someone else's hometown,
You know,
I
I
think
mean-
that's cool.
Yep. Go to other towns and play.
Nothing but good can come out of it,
Mhm.
especially being a new project coming out. There's more opportunities for other bands too to jump on board. So.
Rick, you know that a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, let's support the scene," but you gotta support the scene. You gotta get out there and do shows. I know I don't get out as often as I would like to, but I do my best.
And
That's the thing. You gotta walk the walk, talk the talk, sort of
That's it.
thing.
Absolutely.
That's
And
it.
even just bumping people's stuff online, sharing an event, sharing a page, a little goes a long way.
Yes.
It really,
Yeah.
people are seeing names like Resinaut and Mississippi Gun Club coming up in other circles where, people that were listening to more of the Class A Bandits before in the zoo are now finding out about all these really cool bands sort of from the other end of the spectrum.
Mhm.
And in turn, the other guys are hearing about bands like Idle Shades and Harnessing the Sun and different bands that are playing, they're sort of housing themselves in different venues across town, but you're seeing paths cross more
And
more.
it's definitely getting better, because when I started this sporting thing like a year ago, it was amazing how many people I would run into that, they live here and they don't know about the band that's playing right down the road from them. And it's like, well, it's a punk band. How can you guys are a punk band? Like, why don't you guys know each other? It's kind of, it blew my mind that you could all be in this little town.
But it's really big.
But it is. I mean, there's over 350 some bands on that page that I have, and they're all right here local bands. And I know I don't know all of them, but I know a good chunk of them, and it's pretty weird because you see, like you said, it's different ends of the spectrum. You have a bunch of the bands that play the Royal Oaks and stuff like Idle Shades and Harnessing the Stun. Well, they don't quite know about all the bands that played at the Crawl Space, all those other bands, and it's kind of weird because there's little pockets of bands everywhere, and if we can all cross paths and make this happen, then everybody else should be able to do that too. And it's what I've always said: if bands supported each other, we wouldn't have to worry about fans packing a place. If bands would just get out and support other bands, it would be, that's all you need. The three of us just went and seen Mississippi Gun Club the other day, and it was a great time. We took some sweet pictures and ate some wings, and Lucas finished off the wings,
Yeah,
and he had to fight an old lady for him, but he won.
Atomic Wing Challenge?
Oh, no, my guts, they're too old, they can't handle it.
Those two support your local music shows, the 2 Saturdays in a row. If somebody goes to both of those shows, you're going to see 8 bands of completely varying styles.
Yes,
I mean, if you want to see
for free.
8 bands like that for free, all you have to do is go to Chipper's 2 Saturdays in a row, and you're going to see a lot of different styles. I know I'll see a few bands that I haven't seen before. So.
And I've definitely noticed a lot of bands that play on the supporting local music shows, they kind of become part of the family, and I like that because these bands will come in and play, and I get that it's not a big name place and stuff like that, but once people come in and play, a lot of people enjoy it and they end up wanting to come back. and there's no drama shows. You know, and you don't have to sell fucking tickets. There's none of that bullshit. You say, hey, we're playing at a bar. They serve beer there. Why don't you come fucking watch us? And then they come and watch you. Pretty easy.
What in your guys' separate opinions really? It's kind of a
Purple.
yeah.
Awesome.
It's become kind of the standard that the system of tickets and pre-sales for, you know, small local events is really flawed. And I think there's a lot of people on the other end of the spectrum that would disagree, saying, you know, well, at least you know what you're in for. You can, you know, what would you guys say? Where's the middle ground in that? Or what method would you insist that is better?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, like, I ain't selling tickets, like, period. If there's a show that you want me to play and you're expecting me to sell tickets, I will show up and everybody will be real sad.
And
that I
honesty
didn't
is
sell any
important
tickets.
because some
Yes,
bands
not selling
will
tickets.
not admit to that until the day of their
Oh yeah,
performance.
I'm not selling tickets. I mean,
Special occasion, you know, opening up for Black Sabbath.
yeah,
Celtic.
I mean, maybe.
My
Might be
breath
I
goes
a little bit, but
I
I
agree
mean,
with that.
I'm not.
It's not a town for ticket sales for sure.
No,
I mean,
no.
it's rough, and you know it's we've watched NeoFest, Roxfest, both great festivals that should have done better, but you know
You
they
feel the ticket sales
the
was
ticket sales makes it rough. You know, and
If you're gonna
like,
do something like that, do it for a good benefit.
yeah,
You know
yep,
what I mean?
tr-
If
make
it's a
it-
benefit where you bring people in for a good cause
Yep.
and have bands play, that's different. You
Yep.
know?
And it definitely, you know, there's a mentality too that everybody wants to get paid for doing this. Now, everybody should get paid. I totally agree with that. I agree. Everyone should make money doing this. But you're not
Jump on
going
the
to in
streets.
this town. It's just not going to happen. Unless you're willing to play fucking the Boys of Summer every other fucking night at a different bar and they give you money for being a cover band. It's just, right now, original music in this town, you're not going to make money. So, I know the four of us all have fucking jobs and we do
Right.
this for the fun
Old
of music.
people with
Yeah.
jobs and families,
Yes, it's-
don't pack them in.
No,
All
we-
my friends have jobs and families.
Right.
We like to play
Do
music
it for
and
the
that's
passion,
what
do
it's
it for the fun. We do it to show people what we can do. We're all good musicians, and we like people, you know, enjoy our music, enjoy what we're doing.
It'll work
We're
out.
not playing cover songs. We're making our own music.
Yeah.
We want people to see what we're doing. We enjoy it. We're trying to let other people enjoy it, and that's why we do what we do. I mean, that's it.
But alternatively, and I know that, you know, it's kind of different now where, you know, like when I first started playing in bands years and years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you put flyers in places, like you put flyers in record stores. Well, there really aren't any record stores. You know what I mean?
There's
People
not
don't-
many places to
there's
hang
not really-
flyers
Yeah,
anymore.
you can't really hang flyers.
No,
I guess, you know,
no.
So, you know, I guess you
Well,
know,
it's,
like.
it's all it's all Facebook.
It's all
Yeah,
social
spam
media.
it out to
and-
people
yeah.
that you know, trying to.
You know, it's all the
Trying to
internet.
come out.
You want to
It's-
advertise your band, it's the internet's
Yeah.
where you know.
Social media and still to this day though, the biggest thing that gets you out there that helps is word of mouth. You know, like talk about other bands with your friends. You know, don't just talk about your band. You know, that's another thing. There's plenty of room out there for all the bands, and you know, like I hope every band or every person that was in Chapless goes and starts another project because that's the way it should go. Same thing with Full Moon. I know that there's another project coming out of Full Moon somewhere. It's in there somewhere in the internet. So like, it's good. It's a good thing. There's no reason why you shouldn't just keep creating. You like to create noise.
The venues have to do their part too. though.
Yeah.
If people go to Chippers and they don't have a good time, doesn't matter how good the music is, they're not gonna go back.
Yeah.
Chippers has to make an impression, they gotta be, because it's new, so a lot of the old places, they got their built-in crowd. Chippers are still getting there.
It's working its way up.
I know every time I've been there, I've had a good time. Anybody I've brought in had a good time.
Me and my
Well,
wife had a good time.
Yeah, all the other
There, yeah.
venues too. We go to the Stone Tavern,
Mhm.
Kent.
Mm-hmm.
That's
If you're a band and you play there, you have a good time.
Yep. I've never even played there yet. I've been there twice and I had a good
you
time.
guys have an upcoming show
Yes.
at the Stone Tavern?
Yes. November 3rd.
October 3rd.
October 3rd. What? I told someone November 3rd the other day and they told me I was crazy. I
Yeah.
fought them about it. Guess I was wrong.
Well, sir, you are crazy.
Yes, okay. It happens. Yeah, or yeah, October 3rd. And then the September 27th, we're on the second part of the Support Your Local Music birthday party. And then on the first weekend of that is his other band, the Sleepy Gun Club.
September 20th, I play in the Gun Club. We play Chippers.
And everyone should go check them out if you
Very,
haven't
very
yet.
excited for
You
that.
want
Seriously.
Resinaut autographs? Come September 20th, we can do want me to see Gun Club autographs. I also play in that band. I'll get them to you.
2 for the price
Yeah,
of
that's
none.
cool. Wow, man, I didn't know CJ was going to be giving this shit away. Wow, to be there.
So kind of concluding here, to give the fans a little teaser, I know many fans like myself are really excited. I think it's fair to say that this has that vintage kind of Black Sabbath, very thick, sludgy, heavy sound, but there's a lot of other things going on. There's a little bit of psychedelia, I think, wound in there. There's definitely some blues,
Yep.
and there's definitely hints of, you know, alternative and punk, I think, laid in throughout. So if you guys, without revealing too much, can we get a little taste of what we're in for? What can fans expect?
Well, it's going to be pretty heavy, you know, which is good. So if you like stuff that's heavy, come check it out. It's going to be pretty heavy.
It's going to be awesome.
If you like things
so,
that are
yeah,
awesome.
if you like things that are awesome,
Yeah.
Resinaut is where it's at.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
going to make you feel high, I guess, because it's Resinaut.
It's heavy in the grooves.
Yeah,
It's
grooves.
heavy in the grooves, you know, it's,
Right.
you know, I'm into it.
Yeah.
I-
It's really kind of hard, I guess, being that none of us know each other more than 2 months. I guess it's kind of hard to project where the music's going to go, which I really enjoy because this is the first band I've ever been in that I wasn't friends with all the people before we started the band. And I really have enjoyed playing in this band so far because, like, I love all the new shit and it's good. You learning about each other.
We don't hate each other yet.
Yeah, we don't hate each other yet. Like, how fucking awesome is that?
Yeah, it's pretty
Like,
sweet.
as much as I loved everyone in Chapel Larry, I fucking hated every one of you guys.
You see, every couple of years, you see heavier music. It's kind of in the spotlight, and then it sort of fades out. Either it blows up and becomes another thing completely, or fades out and you see other stuff, more pop. And I know, like, especially in the mainstream, you had a huge wave of country music, and now you see the kids all moshing to, you know, these electronic techno EDM things.
That's
but
where we're headed, EDM. Eventually we're going to be doing some EDM.
I'm throwing this
see-
in
you
just to
see
shame
many-
folks.
Everyone will be having my haircut in the band.
Well, then you see projects like yourself, you know, spurring up all over the place. Do you feel, you know, heavy music with a message has always been there, but do you feel it's sort of bubbling beneath the surface and it's ready to explode again?
I don't know. I mean, I've been listening to the same fucking Caius records since 1992.
Sepultura,
Caius will
Soulfly,
listen to the
Flush,
Sabbath
Orange
all the
Album,
way.
all of it,
Exactly,
man.
you know, like I've been listening to Black Sabbath records since I was 11. I mean, it just, I never stopped listening to heavy music. I don't listen, I mean, it's 2014 or whatever, I had to think for a second. Regardless,
Whatever you're
like, are you talking about like stuff that's on the radio or like, people still listen to the radio? I mean,
Well, radio
I don't
has
know.
died, and the record industry really is in shambles because nobody is really buying the artist's work anymore.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you know, concerts are still doing well, but I mean, how do people consume music? Well, it's very scattered. You got
Yeah.
Spotify, you
Oh,
have
yeah.
iTunes, you have people
Pandora.
just downloading,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
but you're seeing vinyl come back in
Yeah,
a
oh,
big
yeah.
way as well for the
Vinyl's
people
fun.
that.
They're searching for something. I mean, it's, you know, there's some good metal out there, but it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, look at like the Nirvana phase, and look at the Sepultura and all that, the phases of the bands. You know, I mean, it's stoner rock's never actually come all the way up.
All the
like it
way up
should
to
have.
the top.
Yep.
It's always
You know.
been there.
Yeah.
Clutch
but it's
Clutch
never
has
really-
30 hit songs that have
Yeah,
never been.
they're on TV shows.
Yeah,
As
Yeah.
did Monster Magnet in the
You're
late
right,
90s.
right.
You know, I mean, I don't think they've ever, and people are still searching for something. You know, I mean, there's a lot of good heavy music out there. It's just nobody's caught it yet.
Yeah, and you know, with Spotify, for example, you know, it's $10 a month. I never have to hear a commercial for like a car dealership. or a political ad or some, you know, bullshit that isn't music, I don't have to hear Bob Seger like all day every day for the rest of my life. You know, I can listen to, like, you know, there's a Swedish Fuzz playlist that's like 15 hours long. You know what I mean? Like, you can listen to that literally for 2 entire work days, and you don't ever have to like there are people who are like, you know, maybe celebrities or on TV or in bands that get played on the radio. I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea.
Ignorance is bliss, right?
Yeah, I've been completely detached from pop culture. I don't know, probably since I was like 20 or something.
It's refreshing to hear some new music though. Like when you do hear something new that's brand new and it's good, it gives you faith that there's still people making good music out there. There's still new bands
Like
coming out.
Miley Cyrus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, there's new music that's not commercially accepted.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
Oh yeah, and that's
Comes
one
out
another
every
good
day.
thing about Facebook. You
Right.
hear about these bands,
Right.
throwing bands.
Well,
over.
all the new media, you know, everything on the internet. Now you can get into listening to a lot of local bands you never hear.
Yep.
Right.
You know, I mean, you get on Reverb.
Yeah, the Reverb Nation, and then what's the other one we were talking about, Lucas? What's that thing called?
SoundCloud.
Yeah, SoundCloud.
Oh, SoundCloud.
We're gonna have
Yes.
something on SoundCloud
Yeah,
eventually
yeah.
one day too.
Yeah,
But there's a lot of places. There's a lot of places you can go that you can just type in the name of the band you hear and kind of get an idea what they're doing.
Oh, yeah.
Even YouTube. everyone
Oh
posts
yeah,
videos on YouTube.
yeah, absolutely.
Before, I mean, 10 years ago you couldn't do that.
Right.
No.
So now you're getting to hear a lot of stuff you could never hear.
And we're
Everybody.
on YouTube
I mean,
right
hey,
now.
somebody being in California and type in a band's name they heard from Ohio and YouTube,
There it
you
is.
can find them and hear them.
Yep.
You know, I mean, that's changed a lot in 10 years.
It
And
is.
Neat.
It is a really nice thing. It's something that never used to happen before. But everybody used to be friends back in the day too, and back when we were young rock stars. You know, there was a lot more support from other bands, and that's kind of went away, and that's what the problem is. You get a little bit more support from other bands, and it helps out. It really does. You know, you get what he was saying. We're a new band right now. We got a few people giving us some shows, and we're going to have a show here and there. Well, eventually, we're not going to be the new band on the block, and it's up to us to give these new bands shows to come and play with us, and that's how it
All
should
for
be.
one, one for
Yeah,
all.
it shouldn't be. Oh well, let's see. It was the same 3 bands. Let's go play again. You know, let's go play again. Let's go play because you're hurting yourself as much doing that because you're getting, like he said, the same built-in 10 people every show. You got to go play other shows. Like the supporting shows, I try to kind of put bands together that aren't the same, but aren't too far different that they're going to be weird, you know. But it's nice to have a little bit of difference in there because no one wants to go hear heavy metal for 6 hours.
Right,
You know,
right.
they want to hear something different.
Yeah.
Maybe Matt does.
But the other bands that were on that bill with, like, I had never heard them before, and they're all like, they're gonna be great. Like, I'm looking forward to seeing them. You know what I mean? Like, everything seems super cool.
It's a diversity that lends itself to one another.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
It's really cool.
Yes, it's nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
I enjoy going to
You
those
know,
shows.
and
I go to
because
them.
I heard some of this stuff, like, oh yeah, we're playing with this band, and I was able to pull them up and play it for a friend, you know, who lives in Columbus, and check these guys out. And now someone else from some other town has heard, you know, one of the bands that I'm going to be playing a show with, and, you know,
Hi,
they'll
John.
Probably come, yeah, they'll probably come to the show, and then they'll get to see these bands. It's awesome, you know what I mean? Like,
And then that word of mouth makes the Columbus.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and then eventually, in a month or two, we
You know,
go play
go play
Columbus.
Columbus.
Headline down there somewhere, that big pavilion.
Yeah, oh yeah, we'll pick one up.
Yeah. Yeah, we can take that.
Oh, yeah, it's like that.
Well, I'd like to thank you guys so very much.
Thank you, Rick.
Remind everyone again, Resinaut debuts live at Chippers September 27th.
Yes,
No cover,
none, ever.
and they will, if you have to miss it, they will be the following week at the Stone Tavern
Yes.
in Kent.
If you miss it,
Yes.
we're coming to your house.
Yeah, yeah.
All 4 of us will show up. CJ knows where you live already.
Go to both shows. That Stone Tavern is
Yeah.
a great place to hang out.
It's
It really
awesome.
is.
Stone
It's
Tavern
awesome.
is beautiful.
It's super
Is
good.
that the next
Great
week?
vibe.
That's the next Friday.
And it's a Friday. The Stone Tavern's a
catch us
Friday
on
show.
Saturday the 27th, and then again Friday.
Thank you
Beautiful.
guys so very much for
Thank
taking
you.
time
Yeah,
into
man.
your rehearsal for this.
Thanks for hanging out.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
September 27th, Chippers, no cover. And I'd like to thank everyone for listening.
September 20th, Baroque Monday.
Thank you
No
for the
cover.
plug.
Yeah.
Gun Club.
Mississippi Gun Club.
Yeah.
Which
Uh,
I'm looking forward to
I'm
playing.
very much looking
Should
forward
be a
to
good
it.
one.
Good show.
Thank you guys. Look for the relaunch of rawalternative.com this fall. And look for more webisodes.
Awesome.
Take care.
Hell yes.
Sweet.